Welcome back to the Shine Within podcast. Blanca E. Rodriguez is the owner of Wounded Healer LLC, a business dedicated to holistic wellness and healing. A best-selling co-author, seasoned massage therapist, certified canine massage therapist, and fitness instructor for individuals 55 plus. Blanca also brings her expertise as a speaker, holistic life coach, and advocate. Through Wounded Healer, she integrates her experience to support both people and animals on their journey to wellness. Blanca is an active volunteer supporting causes for survivors of trauma and animal welfare and a mentor within Toastmasters. Fluent in English and Spanish, she is passionate about helping others transform their lives through resilience and compassion. That's so awesome. Canine massage therapy, that is cool.
I
I
love it.
love
I
that.
love it. Yes, yes. It's what an excellent practice canine massage therapy is. And you are a fellow massage therapist as well.
Yes.
So the same effects that massage therapy does for us humans is the same exact effects for dogs because we are mammals, both animals and both dogs and humans. So it's an amazing powerful practice, and the beauty of this is that when the dog is done with their session, because we don't decide when they're done with their session, they decide when they're done with their session. They just get up and walk away. It's a beautiful practice. I absolutely love it. I've been doing it for 9 years. I have worked on a few thousand dogs already, all the way from no-kill shelters, which is a very harsh, stressful, chaotic environment for the animals, all the way to the ones that live in the lap of luxury. And it's a beautiful, the effects, beautiful, the bonding between human and dog, between therapist and dog. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm happy when they drool on me, the fur on me. I don't care. It's all good. They're amazing. Amazing.
I love all animals. The furry friends are the best. I actually have a cat. I used to have dogs before, but now I
Yeah.
have a cat and I just rub his head right here in the middle of his eyes and he's like open his mouth like this. You can see his teeth and
They're
it
just
is so
adorable.
cute. Oh, I can talk about
Yes.
animals forever, but let's go ahead and talk about Journey to Resilience. Can you actually go ahead and share some of the early dark seasons you've actually faced and what fueled your determination to reach the other side?
Yes, thank you for that question. I did research some years ago, and it happens that two-thirds of all children under the age of 16 all over the world will experience a traumatic, some kind of trauma, whether it is the violent loss of a loved one, being bullied by family members or at school, and or sexual assault. I went through all three of these by the time I was 9 years old. I lost my father under very violent circumstances. He was killed at his place of work. After that, my mother, she fell into a very deep depression and she basically never recovered from it later on in life. We found out that she had chronic untreated mental illnesses all throughout. I have been around people with mental illnesses basically all my entire natural life. And at that in those times, it was back in the 1970s. Mental illnesses and mental health was something that it was you don't talk about mental illness, because the definition of mental illness back in that day was you're crazy and your life is basically over. My mother was terrified of that fact. My mother was a very, very strong lady, but the fact of the matter is that I grew up in a very unstable environment. It was the time of life when, at least in our culture, it was like, shh, you don't talk about the dead, you don't talk about mental illnesses, you don't talk about these very important conversations that can do so well for others, especially when it comes to grief. I didn't know how to grieve. I was 8 years old. I lost the most important person in my life, which was my beloved father. And from then on, since I was so isolated and felt so lonely, unsupported, And of course, there was a lot of bullying because I was the youngest of three siblings. Huge family, 26 cousins only from one side of the family. So it was a huge family. I was the youngest of all of them. And yes, I was everybody's punching bag, basically. And I I grew up around a lot of low self-worth, low self-esteem, self-destructive patterns. I hid the first time that I was sexually assaulted. I hid it because I was ashamed, and somehow I thought that I had something to do with it, even when I didn't understand what the heck was going on and what happened to me. I all I knew it was that it was wrong and it was shameful. But since I didn't have that so very much needed communication with someone that I felt that would support me, I lack of that. I was in a world of silence for many decades of my life, and definitely living and trying to build a so-called normal life around that. It was very, very difficult, but we live, we learn. I went down the rabbit hole of alcohol, drug abuse, looking for this fix, or let's say a fix or attention or the love that I only could find from within. All I needed to do was look at the mirror and find that self-love that is the most important love. And I didn't do that. I didn't even know how to process so many things in my life. But one thing is for sure, Gina, if I am here right now talking about my story with you is because I was meant to stay. I could have easily been the statistic of, oh, she OD'd in drugs and alcohol and she left two kids behind because I'm a mother of two. Oh, she was beat to death because one of the last relationships that I had with the father of my kids, it was plagued with domestic abuse. And thank God that I am here because he was a very violent person, not only emotionally, but physically. And I am very grateful to say it's like, yeah, I made it and I am here. And there is a big reason why I'm here because it's about fulfilling a mission that is bigger than myself, telling my story to as many people as possible and letting them know that it's never late for a new start. It's never late to improve our quality of life, no matter what age we are. And here I am with you right here, right now. And I am grateful and honored every day to be able to do things like this, like spreading the love and spreading the resilience and don't give up and step into your power because it's always possible. Because when we change our mindset, our lives will definitely change.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. And my condolences to you about losing your father at such a young age.
Thank
I
you.
mean, yes, and then having to keep it all inside, internalize that until later on. And then finally, when was that time where you're able to actually express those emotions and those feelings of losing your father?
Well, I had a very conflictive way of grieving my father's death. I was angry at my father for many decades of my life actually because I didn't know what grief was. I knew that there was sadness, you cannot talk about the dead, and I was on my own. So when the tragic passing of my father happened, my life just change drastically. It was life before my father's death and life after my father's death. And I was so angry at my father. And I would ask many times, why did you leave me here with her? Why did you leave me here with her? Because my mother was not stable. And God bless her that she did the best that she could. But honestly, it wasn't enough. I mean, she was dealing and trying to face her own monsters and her own grief, her own craziness because I gotta put the things the way they are. She was mentally insane. She would say first, I love you, and then she will say that I was a whore or I was an idiot or I was a stupid or I will pee when the chickens no, I will talk when the chickens pee. Imagine that, receiving all of this bombarding of low self-esteem and attacks and bullying at such a young age. And we learned the lesson, and I take it all as a lesson. And I didn't know that all of these experiences will lead me to where I am now in life, which is really, really doing something that is bigger than myself. And God chose this path for me for a reason, and I don't take it for granted. The way that I finally started to really confront my grief, confront my how shattered my heart was, confronting all of my trauma, all of my loss, all of my poor decision making, all of the abuse that I submitted myself to because I was in a very self-destructive pattern, was through the form of a book. And it was part of the plan. Definitely, that was, I mean, I was at a doctor's office, and God planned that moment to meet for me to sit in front of this book that is called The Secret. And I said to myself, wow, I have so many secrets in this life that I could write a book about it. And after I read The Secret, which is a book about personal health with giants like Bob Proctor and so many others, I couldn't get enough of it. After that, I started to grab more books. I went to counseling. I went to psychologists, psychiatrists, group counseling, you name it. I did it. But these were the times where YouTube was hardly starting. So I didn't have YouTube or university and my disposition to help me even more because I love YouTube. YouTube is an excellent source of information for absolutely anything that we want to know. But back in those times, books of self-help really, really were my catalyst. That was my aha moment, and I couldn't get enough. And I remember one book about this great psychotherapist, Carl Jung. I was reading his book, and at some moment, the author asked, write down 10 things that you want from this special person in your life. I was in the middle of a relationship that was plagued with domestic abuse. I was very lonely, alone in my own little bubble, trying to survive because I had two kids to take care of. And when I had my kids, that was one of those moments that I said, nah, I didn't give life to these kids. They gave me a second chance on turning it around and making it better for myself and for them. And I decided that, okay, their life is going to be better than mine. And that is for sure. So that was a huge inspiration for me to turn things around and turn the story around and change the narrative. And definitely, I really opened up about my story officially in the form of a co-authorship. I was invited to be a co-author, say, hey, do a chapter in a book, 2,000 words, say everything you want to say about your life. And I'm like, well, okay. And that's how my own family found out about sexual abuse, about my very difficult times with drug abuse and alcohol abuse as well, jumping from person to person, being very lonely in a world full of people. I was one statistic that could have easily gone so downhill, and I'm still here, but definitely confronting my trauma was the name of the game. Confronting my demons was the pathway that I needed to go through to make it better for myself. So don't give up, people. Don't give up.
Yes, that's so beautiful. I always ask myself, like, how am I still alive? Because I've gone through similar scenarios as you. I mean, for me, I had an abusive relationship. I was 15 years old. And then I got
Mm,
into relationships that matched my behavior, addiction. And then
Exactly.
it was a cycle because my ex-husband was a codependent and I was an addict and he was an addict too. So
Hmm.
if I say, "Oh, give me a bottle of vodka," he'd go to the store and get it for me anytime I wanted. And so he
Yeah.
was an enabler, but that's what he knew. He wanted to always make me happy.
Hmm.
And it was just poisoning me. And then there's been times I tried to commit suicide twice and they
Mm.
failed. I mean, then that's when you really have to ask, like, there has to be a reason why I'm still here. And, we've gone through so much, but yet we're
Absolutely.
sharing our messages. And I think that's why it's so important for you to go on podcasts, to write your book, and to just share your message, because I think it's so important for other people to feel like, hey, I'm not alone in this. People have gone through similar situations that I have gone through. And if they can do it, I can do it too.
Absolutely. So true, so true. And I am listening to you about addictive relationships. And yes, my relationship with my ex-partner definitely was a codependent, highly addictive one because he was a drug addict until he died, rest in peace. And I had addictive personality as well. So when he wanted something, it was the enabler and the enabled. But then we would go into a fight because he was doing more drugs than I was, but here I was trying to go into judgmental for whatever reason that was. I would be too judgmental about something that I was doing myself, but I was too busy looking at the outside of things rather than take a good look at myself. And of course, we were a reflection of each other. We were mirroring each other. Is that physically, he took much more drugs than I did, but emotionally, I was highly addicted as well. So it was a vicious circle, a never ending vicious circle. And the only way to change it is getting out. That's it. Gotta get
Right.
out. Gotta get out.
Abs
And how did I get out? It was this glorious day. Nah, there was nothing glorious about it. We were into very very heated argument, and he said, "Oh, you and f your kids too, and they go f themselves too." And I said, "Okay, that's it. That's it." I had $89 in my purse, a car that was falling apart. Thank goodness I had enough jobs to sustain myself and my kids. And I left and I said, well, I'd rather sleep under a bridge in my car before spending another second with this person. And no, I never had to sleep under no bridge. I found more support than I ever thought I would have in a lifetime. And those are the big blessings right there, because I didn't know how much love I was by other people, because I was so lost in this bubble of darkness and this cloudiness and this shadows of my own sadness and my own darkness, my own grief, my own I mean I had to really really hit rock bottom to understand that the only way is out. And to whoever is going through a similar situation like we did, the only way is out. Don't try to be taking care of nobody, because the only person that can take care of you is you. Nobody can do it but you, please.
Yes, because we are responsible for ourselves. And
Absolutely.
when we're doing well, it's a ripple effect. Everyone does well around us.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. And forgiveness is something that's dear to my heart, because I actually had to forgive myself and I had to sit with myself with those ugly demons in there. And I didn't, it was not pretty. You understand.
Oh yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
my
My
goodness.
goodness.
Yeah,
Yes.
you mentioned that forgiveness is the heart of the matter. How
Yes.
did forgiveness play in a role of your healing journey, and why do you believe it's so essential?
To me, I even have it tattooed on my arm. Forgiveness is the heart of the matter, because it's liberating. It takes you break away from so many scars that are just holding you back from blossoming into the person that you're meant to be. And it takes suffering to learn the lessons. It takes going through hard times to shine with your own light at the end of the road. But to get there, there's going to be some level of forgiveness, and it starts with you. I did this exercise for a long time, actually, for, oh my God, for months, that it was about standing in front of the mirror and telling to myself, Blanca, I forgive you for 7 different things. And I will repeat it to myself every single day, every morning, because I'm a morning person. So I will do all of these good exercises, all of these things that have to do with self-help, like prayer, meditation, exercising gratitude for the simplest things that we have in life. And I will stand in front of that mirror and say, Blanca, I forgive you for these 7 different things. And right after that, Blanca, I am so grateful that you have progress. I am so grateful that you're a much better person. I am so grateful that I have confronted my own demons. I am so grateful that it was part of the lesson. I am so grateful that I am not that self-destructive woman anymore, and so on and so forth. I mean, I really love doing that exercise, but doing it at first, it was, oh my God. I am facing a woman that has needed so much help, and the only person that could help me was me, by picking up these tools of self-help, personal growth, books, counselors. It doesn't matter. Don't do it alone. You got this. And definitely those are the most important tools that led me to forgiveness, forgiving myself, forgiving my mother, forgiving my father, but especially myself. That is the rooting of all real forgiveness in this life, is forgiving yourself for the mess ups and the mistakes, and repeating the same mistake over and over and over, because the lesson will keep on coming back to you over and over until you say, okay, I got it. It's time to let go of that and become something better, do something new, change that narrative, change that channel. And forgiveness has everything to do with changing the channel, changing the mindset, and definitely living a life in gratitude, really, really. And of course, forgiveness really is the heart of the matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yes. There's a quote saying, if you want to change, things must change. Something like that. I forget who was Proctor's mentor. I forget his name.
Yeah, I think it was Jim Rohn.
Rowan,
No,
that's right.
oh
Yeah,
no,
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 you're
hold
right.
on. It was Napoleon Hill. Bob
Napoleon.
Proctor's Napoleon Hill was like his person. Yes, definitely. And there's this inspirational speaker, well, Jim Rohn actually, that he used to say, life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. And change is a constant, and we're all capable of change. And how beautiful can that be when you change for the better? Because you got fed up by that past of changing for the worse and the worse and the worse. And it's like, when is it gonna, I mean, when is it just gonna change for the better? And we make that decision the same way that we make those decisions of going through self-destructive patterns. The same way we can pick up the tools and heading into something that is much better for us, which is the path of growth, self-love, self-discovery, and really enjoying who we really are, the essence of who we really are. And here we are, definitely. If I did it, if you did it, Gina, so can the audience. Definitely. Anybody that is out there struggling with whatever it is that you're struggling, it will be okay. Just pick up those tools and use them. Don't just have the tools and look at them and say, well, maybe later. No, use them every single day of your life, because when we change these habits, life just keep on changing for the better and the better.
That's right. That's right. Now this goes to your creation at Wounded Healer. Can you talk a little bit about that and what inspired you to create that?
Yes, absolutely. Wounded healers, we are people that use our traumatic experiences as tools to help others improve their quality of life, no matter what age we are. And under this umbrella, of course, canine massage therapy, life coaching, fitness, speaker, educating as many people as possible, authorship, and so much more. So definitely us wounded healers, because you are a wounded healer as well. We help others by helping ourselves. That is for sure, because we do practice what we preach.
That's right. And through also your work with Inner Truth Project, how
Yes.
has helping survivors of sexual violence impacted you, and what roles does holistic healing play in supporting their journey?
Yes, definitely. The Inner Truth Project is a beautiful platform that help sexual assault survivors making it better for themselves, starting to go through that journey, that slow journey of healing with the best possible support, psychologists, yoga teachers, mindfulness, meditation. I did a master class about massage therapy, because massage therapy is very intimate and is a step that any sexual assault survivor, is a very scary thing, but it's an empowering thing to start rediscovering yourself, start appreciating and loving your body by the form of receiving a massage, something that is healing, that is that is relaxing, is healing. It helps you with tense muscles. It helps you with understanding that the power of touch not necessarily has to do with sexual assault, because sexual assault is about power and abuse of that power, versus massage therapy is about touch, is about do no harm, because we are here to do no harm. And as a sexual assault survivor that I am, I don't go without a massage. And when I receive, because I challenge myself, and it's good to challenge ourselves, that's for sure. I heard about this gentleman that he was a phenomenal massage therapist. And like, well, I'm a little skeptical about that one, because I don't relate. But and then I said to myself, no, I am a licensed massage therapist, and I know exactly what I am going to say when this person asks, so how are you doing today? And I'm just going to open up the same exact way that I opened up to you. I said, well, this is what's going on. I need a massage. I heard that you are a phenomenal massage therapist, but I carry this trauma. Oh my God. We formed a bond from the first massage. And I trust this gentleman because he's a gentle soul. And this was a big, big challenge. I put myself to the challenge, and I said to myself, let me see how much I really have improved my quality of life. Let me see how much I've been using these tools and what is the effect that these tools are giving me by the way of laying half naked on the table and a man giving me a massage. It was one of the most empowering experiences I ever had. And I said, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for putting myself to the challenge, because this person has my full trust, and I know that no harm will come to me. So this is why at the Inner Truth Project, I love to go and talk about massage, offer massage to the survivors, because they can start getting in touch with themselves again. Stop being numb about that horrible experience, and start finding themselves again by the form of gentle, compassionate touch that us massage therapists give.
Oh, that's so beautiful that you do that. Yes. And
Thank
I
you.
remember like, because I've been doing massage for only 17 years, maybe 18 years. And I've been over at the Four Seasons spa since I first started massaging. So yeah, 17 years I've been there. And a lot of
Wow.
well, first I was getting a lot of complaints because I had just gotten out of school, right? And going to a
Yeah,
five-star hotel, working
that's
all these
wonderful.
high clientele, right? No, I sucked in the beginning. I didn't suck. It's just that I wasn't up to their standard, but I was learning.
Yeah,
But
it's a
people are like, yeah,
journey.
it
Of
is a
course,
journey,
of
and you're learning.
course.
The more bodies you work on, the more experience you have. And now people are like,
Absolutely.
I'm transformed, Gina. You have healing hands, Gina. And everyone always says it's the love that we're giving to them. And then,
Absolutely.
but I'm trying to learn how do I let go of their negative energy that's on me afterward because oh, now I'm all stiff and icky. It's like I gave them my good energy, and here I'm all, oh, I don't feel too good.
Yeah,
Uh,
wow. Yeah. You know what has worked for me? I do when I have someone on my table that I feel their energy because the energy is always gets heavy. It's like it's unavoidable. And since we are putting our hands on this person, it's unavoidable that we feel the energy even closer to us. And what I have done in the last few years has been exercising box breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, and doing breathing exercises and focusing on my breath rather than what this person is complaining about because I know that you've been there, done that, that we say, so how are you feeling today? Oh my goodness. And the Pandora's box opened up like crazy. But what I have done that has helped me tremendously is breathing exercises and this energy work called Reiki. I love
Mhm.
Reiki. Reiki is powerful. Reiki, oh my God, I do Reiki on my animals, and it's the most one of the most powerful practices that I ever seen in someone more than humans is on our dogs. And Reiki is like, wow, mind blowing. It's amazing. You should do it on your cat.
Yeah.
Yes, if you practice it. Oh, your cat will love it. It's a very powerful practice. And what I have done after I am doing the massage, I inhale and exhale nice and slow, focus on my breathing. I used to work for over 2 years at two rehab centers for drug abuse and alcohol abuse.
Oh, wow.
And these centers are for people that they just OD'd actually. So
Mm.
they are in very, very bad conditions, very heavy, very heavy. You know what I'm talking about. It's like
Mhm.
very, very sad and chaotic and people screaming. And I never heard so many things in one place like I did in these centers, but I empathize with them.
Yeah.
I related to them even. And it has been one of the most amazing, difficult experiences I ever had as a massage therapist. But I was there almost 3 years working. And the one thing that helped me through it all was breathing,
Hmm.
breathing exercises and focusing on that breath and saying, thank you, God, because when I'm done with my shift, I go out the door and I go back to my phenomenal, beautiful life that I am so grateful for.
Hmm.
So, yes, knowing when to just detach yourself from those situations is very important for our own quality of life.
That's right. Wow, you do
Mm,
such beautiful work. Thank you for all you
thank you.
do. Now, for our
Thank you.
listeners that want to go ahead and connect with you, how can they contact you?
Yes, absolutely. And my website is www.woundedhealer.us. You can contact me, call me, text me, email me. Don't do it alone. I am here to help, and I am offering for all the listeners a life coaching session. It can be 20 minutes, it can be half an hour. Let's just have a conversation of whatever you like to talk about. And please don't do it alone. You never know when a stranger like us coaches can help you through very difficult times in your life because I have a coach and I will never go without. That's for sure.
Yes, they are amazing. I have so many.
Yes. Oh my God. I have mentors, coaches, you name it. Oh yeah. I don't do it alone. Oh, those years
All
are
right.
way past me. Thank God. Yes.
You have a collective with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important.
Well, thank
Hmm.
you so much, Blanca. It's been a pleasure having you on my show
Thank
today.
you, Gina. Thank you so much for having me. What a blessing and an honor is for me to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.